Over the years, I've acquired almost 7,000 music titles on CD. Many of these came from thrift stores, flea markets, and garage sales, but others were acquired through music trading sites such as musicboomerang.com and swapacd.com. Check the description for the links. In order to trade CDs, you need trading fare. In this video, I'm going to concentrate on how you can find in-demand CDs in the bargain bins. The first method is time-consuming but highly effective. When going through the bin, use a smartphone to search barcodes and check for demand on trading websites. You might also look up used prices on Amazon Marketplace or Discogs.com. The barcode method will not work for CDs that were released by music clubs such as BMG or Columbia House. These CDs use a different coding method or may lack any barcode at all. In this case, you will have to search by artist and title. It is a good idea to also check the track listing to make sure it is a true match. Many folks might be tempted to skip over CDs that they already have when searching the bins, but this isn't such a good idea. Duplicates are good for trading. You probably don't want to mail off your favorite title for a trade credit, but mailing off a duplicate is no big deal. Also, you may already know the titles in your collection that are in demand. These days, I seldom look up barcodes when I search through the bins. There are some methods you can use to find good trading fare. The number one thing I want to talk about are audiophile CDs. If I find discs from Mobile Fidelity Sound Labs, Audiophile, or DCC, I always snatch them up. These labels put great care into the mastering process, and releases are limited in number. Both these factors contribute to higher prices in the used market. Many of the discs released on these labels use gold instead of aluminum for the reflective layer, so this helps in identification of these titles. Number 2, vintage discs. Many of the first discs that said remastered were audiophile discs, but these days major labels apply this term to almost all re-releases. Many of these reissued discs are simply louder, not better. This has created a demand for out-of-print original issues among folks who want to avoid loud compressed masterings. Of particular note among the vintage discs are Target CDs. These are among the earliest releases from Warner, Elektra, and Atlantic. They were manufactured at plants either in Japan or West Germany, but more importantly for collectors, they were direct transfers of master tapes with no adjustments such as EQ or compression during the mastering process. This is either a good thing or a bad thing depending on the condition of the master tapes, but regardless, there's a collector's market for these titles. However, these discs do not have unique barcodes compared to later releases. So you can only identify Target CDs by looking at the disc itself. Even if a vintage disc is not a Target CD, there's still a good chance that it's in demand. Also, early jewel cases had a smooth edge, so if you find a smooth edge jewel case, you're probably looking at a vintage CD. The third thing I look for is specialty labels. Wounded Bird, Rock Candy, One Way Records. These are labels that specialize in reissues of titles that have either never been released on CD or have had such a limited release that there's demand for the reissue. When I see these labels in the bins, I snatch it up. Import CDs are sometimes hard to list on trading sites, but they're worth a look. Of particular note are import versions of Western titles that often have bonus tracks that are not included in the US version. Japanese imports are worth more with an obi strip. This is a piece of paper folded over the spine that describes the title in Japanese. CD singles are sometimes interesting, especially those that offer tracks that you can't find on the album. Some CD singles were released commercially, others are promo CDs that are sent to radio stations. Both are worth a look. CDs that say special edition are hit or miss. Some so-called special editions really aren't that special. When I seek out special editions, I look for titles released long after the original issue that contains bonus tracks and are a bonus CD or DVD. Some special editions have an outer sleeve that says something like Deluxe Edition, but many do not. Minor labels are also something I find intriguing. If I find a minor label release of an artist that I know, it generally means this is a before they were famous release. When I find a minor label release from an artist I do not know, there might be demand for this artist on the trading website, so it's worth getting the phone out and taking a look. I've talked about things to look for. There are also things to avoid. The number one thing, major label hit releases from the 1990s and early 2000s. During the heyday of CDs, labels were notorious for overproduction of hit titles. Consequently, supply, even on out-of-print titles, exceeds current demand, and this is reflected on the trading websites. Plenty of traders have such titles available, but they are hard to trade due to lack of demand. If you want such a title for your personal collection, great, but don't expect to be able to trade it later. Another thing to look out for are art-impaired discs. Both Music Boomerang and Swap a CD allow you to state what art is available with your disc. Titles that are missing front, rear, or all art are much harder to trade than titles with full art. If you find a badly scratched disc in the bins, I probably wouldn't pick it up. There are ways to deal with surface scratches that I will save for a future video, but if scratches make a disc unplayable, then it's also untradeable. Another type of CD that I avoid are CDR reissues. CDR started out as a home technology so folks could burn their own discs. But lately, Amazon and other retailers have started selling officially licensed CDR discs. Such discs may contain the same music as glass mastered CDs, but they do not have the same collectability. The use of organic dyes instead of a metallic layer may also cause CDRs to suffer from shortened lifespan. CDRs can be identified by a slight colored tint that can be seen on the bottom of the disc. Also, many computer programs can identify CDR discs. If you found this video helpful while searching the bins, please like and subscribe. Thank you.